clock is broken, never stopping, never slowing. Yeah, we're living wide open, unwinding every moment, like the clock is broken, never stopping, never slowing. Yeah, we're living wide open. We know we are.
Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. We have a team coming into this game in hope of joining the ranks of the select few teams that have finished the regular season undefeated. Let's see if they can keep that dream alive with a win here in this one. It's the Miners going up against the Vikings. So, with the call of this Week 16 matchup, let's hand it over to our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Larry, it's one of the new jewels of the NFL, no doubt, as you get a look inside U.S. Bank Stadium here in Minneapolis. Today, it's the penultimate week of the regular season, Week 16, and we've got a good one in store between the Sacramento Miners and the Minnesota Vikings. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he'll get this one across the 20, but only up to about the 21. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. And a look at the offense that is hoping to put some points up in bunches here in this one. And after the play on the ground, that brings up second down here.
Here we go! Grand 38!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is going to lose yardage here. He went backwards 7 yards, setting up a tough third down.
Well, so much for all the time that you spend in practice, because for offensive linemen and running backs to get in sync, that requires a ton of practice time, a ton of watching tape together, a ton of really getting to where you're thinking with one mind on every single play that's called, every single run, because you want to know how your guy's going to block it. They want to know how he's going to run it, what kind of cuts he's going to make, and it's really anticipatory. And when you're really locked in together, you know what he's going to do before you.
And he's going to be brought down back at his own 6-yard line. Daniil Hunter in there to drop him, and he continues to wreak havoc in offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year. He gets us away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And the punt goes out of bounds. Where will they put it? They'll put it just inside the 45-yard line. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Okay, let's just make this one simple. We know that the running game is not their thing, but they can't just throw it on every single down without expecting some real heat from the pass rush.
Let's go! Wait now!
A second down throw for Bridgewater. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Khalil Mack. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line. Now this offense ready to take over again. And the first drive, 3 and out. Second possession, see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how defense reacts. And it may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got a look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
If they open things up, let's see what the defense does here, too, after a good stop. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down. Quickly now a look at the defensive starters for Minnesota.
When I see Sharif Floyd hit the field, I think of all the potential he has, and it's a lot of fun watching that come to the surface.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks. The defense came out with a look that they had prepped for all week to attack. They took advantage, got the first down.
And the key words in there, prepped for all week. They really studied them, understood their tendencies, knew what they liked to do, and prepared their game plan accordingly. And, boy, the payoff was good.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down. And the offense there, the O-line, everybody really on offense, they were just manhandled at the point of attack.
Yeah, you could pretty much call them all out, couldn't you? And almost by name, right? That was a very tough sequence for the offensive line. But how about that defensive front creating a new line of scrimmage and creating a lost yardage possibility?
Going to give this time to the tailback. Works his way inside the 30 on a pickup of 4.
You got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a second and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to third and manageable with that run.
But 22 is the line to gain here on third down.
Let's go! Ryan 38! Ryan 38!
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Putting pressure on the guy throwing the football is always good, but when you can couple that with contact on him that leads to an incompletion, as we just saw there, that's winning football.
And Bullock will put this one through, and that'll make it 3-0 here in the first. So a good kick there, and they wrap up the drive by putting 3 on the board.
And you know, let's face it, you're not always going to come away with 6. Defense in the NFL.
Last year, that would have been a net gain of 5 on the return. This year, he stopped where he would have been if he had taken a knee, and that's at the 25. And now out comes Minnesota. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
He's going to float this one deep right side. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on at second down. The starters now on offense. And Stephon Diggs, our first chance to see him today.
Brandon, remember we had this conversation about how highly recruited he was in high school. Didn't quite live up to it in college due to some injuries. But, boy, as he hit the NFL like a bomb. Stephon Diggs, a crafty, mature route runner who can go the distance.
And the big meat on the D-line, we'll see how they do today.
And I'd hate to be an offensive lineman having to deal with these guys. They come in hungry, mean, and confident. They think that no one can block them.
Let's go! Way 90! Way 90! Two jet! Dagger! Dagger! Force! 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 Hey!
On third down, Bridgewater. Flush to his right. Now he'll let it go deep right side. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a 4th down. So on 4th down, here's Chris Jones to punt it away. A good return there, 17 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And now back out comes the offense. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Back to throw now on 1st down. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. And he's certainly not a guy that drops that football very often.
Indeed, because that's a bit of a surprise. I know he's in the middle of some traffic and people, bodies all around him, but he usually has the focus to haul that one in.
So the D-line's going to spread out. And he'll give it here to his running back. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. 3rd down and 12. They're going to look to throw. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. It's caught inside the 25. And they talked about how important the passing game was going to be against that defensive look. Good job there going to the air for the first down.
It's all about preparation. It's all about planning. And then it's about execution. So they put it all together in practice. Okay, this is what we think we're going to see. This is how they get to it. And then when the game comes, read it and attack it.
The tight end in motion right. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one, because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
And he'll take this one down near the 15. It'll be a gain of 3, and it also takes us to the end of the They'll come out in the pistol.
Here we go. Hey, 38.
Now they'll pitch it out here. And out of bounds all the way down at the 3. It's a good gain of 11. Sets him up 1st and goal.
Okay, no score on that play, but this guy's been a touchdown machine all year long. You know they trust him with the football.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. This will be caught at about the 6. And he's into the end zone for the receiving touchdown. A great effort there. His 21st touchdown of the season. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he probably should have stayed in the end zone, as he'll muster a return up to only the 14-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off. A give to the fullback on the dive. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
I love the modern game, but that was a throwback right there, to see the big man with football, running, knocking people aside, and picking up yardage. That takes me back to the 60s, the 70s, when fullbacks ruled the earth.
They'll come out in the pistol. And now a first chance for the backup here to throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete.
And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in the coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop.
Here we go. 319, 200 jet. 200 jet. Eagle.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And this is going to be incomplete. Well, they've had a pretty frustrating first half here offensively, and then just continued there with that incompletion.
Yeah, definitely frustrating for them, but heartening for the other guys. Those stop troops, they're enjoying things right now because they made it very difficult for them throughout the half.
And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. Now this offense ready to head back out there. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
It takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. And he'll rumble for about 5, up close to the 40.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Possible run anticipation here as the D-line sandwiches together. They'll look to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Looked like they had an opportunity for a big play across the middle, but he didn't have the concentration or the focus necessary and dropped it before he could haul it in.
And the Vikings with an extra defender in the secondary on 3rd.
Playing coverage here.
Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Will Fuller was the intended target, and it's 4th and 4. Here's Jordan Berry now. On for his second punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And you can't do it much better than that. This ball kicks out of bounds at the 4-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But hey, listen, there's going to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
12 yards on the pickup, and it'll give the Vikings a 1st down.
I guess it's good we can't really read the mind of the defensive coordinator now, huh?
Had him pinned back there deep, give up that run. Can't be happy.
Yeah, whatever's in his mind right now, we probably couldn't say over the air.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
No gain on that run, and while the team is down, there's still time to come back and win the football game. If I'm the offensive coordinator, though, I got to think about moving at a faster pace and maybe opening things up a little bit and throwing it a little bit more.
Going down the middle, and it's complete. 23 yards on the play. He had time, was able to survey the field and find a soft spot in that zone coverage.
And that's where it gets difficult for a defender, Brandon. You go to your spots on the field that you have to cover, and when the offense finds an area that you're not in, that's where they throw the football.
He'll drop to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage.
Let's go. Zebra.
Back to throw. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And this is caught. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. His 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Vikings are able to make this a close game again. And they're back within a field goal. It's 10-7 now. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. Now this offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Let's go, Ohio! Ohio!
From the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. They'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's second down.
Let's go! Brian 38! Brian 38!
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. It's a 9-yard pickup on the play, and that's going to lead to a third down. Two minutes remain here in the first half. More from Minneapolis after this. So a 3rd and 9, and 6 defensive backs out there in the dime.
Patrolling the passing lanes.
They'll drop to throw. Over the middle, it's complete. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line.
And fits the exact right word. Over the middle, there's almost always traffic, so anytime you're a receiver in that area, you're not just focused on catching the football. You're wondering where the collision's going to come from, right? Because there's almost always someone there able to concentrate, catch it, and even at...
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Second down and just 1. Shift together here from the D-line. And they'll go on the ground. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives them a new set of downs.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
Ohio! Ohio!
And some changes here as the D-line separates some. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. And they're able to get this one down to the 25. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Stepping up, he'll try and run. And he's going to take this down to about the 17. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2. Back to throw here. That is caught. And he will take this one in for a touchdown. Their dangerous wide receiver. His first touchdown on the year. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. Uh-oh, flag comes out here. This is going to be roughing the kicker.
When you're going back there on the kick block, you've got to go to the right point. That didn't happen. Ran into the kicker. The penalty flag had to come out.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 yards with a new rule as he's taken down right at the 20-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. 5 wides in the game, 4 of them to the right side. Looking to throw. He's got time. He's going to air one out. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
There's no shyness there pushing the ball downfield, but I like the coverage on the play. In good position. And when you have a 50-50 ball, who's going to come down with it? I like the way that he made the play. Came across and knocked it away.
Here we go.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. And, oh, he took that in one-handed. What a grab. And he is out of bounds, getting it across the 30-yard line.
That was a terrific catch. I mean, to go up there and get it one-handed like that, but I almost want to go into that riff about back in my day, the gloves weren't quite like this.
When did gloves really become prevalent, just in general?
I think in the 80s. I think as we started to move through the 80s, especially as we got towards the latter part of that, but a lot of those were really like baseball batting gloves to begin with not much of a tacky area on the glove. In fact, there was none. I actually remember in cold weather games wearing the old scuba gloves, which you'd wear in diving.
He rifles one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. And they're going to go soft on the corners. Now a handoff here to his running back. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. We have hit half. And pump the brakes, Larry. Pump the brakes. We are ready for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They'll come out throwing here on first down. And he will find his big tight end over the middle. Give him 16 on the pickup, and that'll be good enough for the first. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run.
Here we go. Flex round. Flex round. Flex round. Flex round. Ohio. Ohio. Here we go.
And they'll send the tight end in motion here. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And it's caught. Touchdown. Their big tight end with touchdown number 12 on the year. And that interception key as it leads to the touchdown. What a great weapon. So often, such a big mismatch.
And there's no route he can't run. You name it, he's going to do it. and he's a matchup nightmare for the defense. No matter who they put on him, he's going to win the battle.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And a couple yards deep, he'll go to a knee. He won't return it. And they'll take it out to the 25. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half two.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. 7 yards there. Good enough to move the sticks.
It was a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
So it'll be first down here after the run. And to give this time to the tailback. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
They got 2 of the 3 they needed there. It leaves them with 3rd and just a yard.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Tough day. Tough sledding right there. And it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there.
Here we go.
They're going to look to throw. Eluding the pressure right. And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not. In a play like that, with how far he had to go to make that sack, shows how athletic defensive ends have become in the NFL.
And not just athletic. This is coached in a big way. Run to the football at all times. How about him never giving up on it and pursuing all the way across the field?
Now play number 7 of this drive, but it's a tough 3rd and 9. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. He's going to let this one go deep. And that'll be caught by Diggs for a Minnesota touchdown. Stephon Diggs, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings are able to cut into that deficit. It's up and good, so they claw back into it, 24-14 now. So the lead back down to 10 as things get a little more interesting, and the kick is away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Out comes this offensive unit as they get set to take over here. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
This is caught inside the 15. Touchdown. A big play there. Touchdown number 18 on the year. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. Charles, there aren't really any slow receivers, but there's fast and then really fast. He's really fast, and he showed off the afterburners there.
And that he is, because when he took off, I was thinking there is no chance that he can actually reach him with that pass. Yet he did, and he's still sprinting. And just think about what that does for everyone else on his team, because his ability to stretch a field opens things up for the rest of the receivers on the team.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. And out now come the Vikings. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting.
Touchdown, Vikings! Their dangerous wide receiver, 78 yards. And the Vikings are able to close the gap just a bit. Great corner route there, not only able to catch it, turn it upfield, and get into the end zone.
It usually involves a little bit of an extra move, doesn't it? You've got to get them thinking that you're moving to the middle of the field and you're breaking away to that corner. Boy, that was well executed.
So the lead back down to 10 as things get a little more interesting, and the kick is away. This is fielded at the goal line. And some good coverage there by the kick team as they'll bring him down at the 16-yard line. And here now the offense heading back out there. And last time the formula was pretty simple. One-play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, one-play drive is exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was real easy.
The field. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Boy, he came in off the edge so quickly there.
Look out, because that's exactly what it was being shouted by the offensive lineman to his quarterback, because he had no chance to block him.
And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. Possible run anticipation here as the D-line sandwiches together. Design run for their wideout. And they're able to bring him down at the 20. 11 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a third down. And in this situation with the lead fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. They'll run it now out of the gun. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up fourth down.
Well, this was just simply excellent defense. On this third down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stopped them for almost no gain.
This is away and a very good kick, angled for the sidelines. And now out comes Minnesota. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, to see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Shreds the tackle.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
So they almost turn it over there. Scary moment. Second down here. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Flushed out right. Now he's going to throw deep right side. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Well, they went for the big play there, but that drop could really hurt their momentum.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
Here we go. Lampert. 210.
Defense really showing respect to the deep ball here, playing off the receivers. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. He's got time in the pocket. And no, it's incomplete. The Vikings unable to convert here on 4th. And now, boy, the ball's going to go over on downs here inside the 10-yard line. Again, we'll see the pistol here. And from the 9-yard line now, it's 1st and goal. And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
Let's go.
Halfback sent in motion.
Flex round.
And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Only a couple yards there, and that's going to set up a long 3rd and goal. And now they're in the hurry-up.
Let's go. Ohio. Come on. Flex round. Ohio. Come on, let's go. Ohio.
He can run for it, and he will. And he'll take it into the end zone for a touchdown. It's their quarterback, keeping it himself from 10 yards away. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And last year that would have been a net gain of 5 on the return. This year he stopped where he would have been if he had taken a knee, and that's at the 25. Back to throw now on 1st down. Going up top. That's caught at the 25. A gain of 35 that time. And it'll be 1st down Vikings. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did. I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there. Getting late in the 4th now, Charles. 2-minute warning just around the corner. Yeah, some teams just want to get to that spot, take a breath, and then come out and attack for the rest of the game.
Here we go.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. He's got a man. That's caught. Left sideline. Call it a gain of 13 yards on the play. And that's going to make it 3rd down and less than a yard. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. They'll drop to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive. And they're on 3rd and short. They just tried to spread the field. It worked.
And I think that the spreading of the field, the extra receivers, has really become the next in the evolutionary chain in the NFL. Go all the way back in that situation, you're handed to the fullback, right? As we evolve, maybe you pitched it to your tailback. Now you spread the field, and you have your choices of where to throw it and complete it for a first down. Sometimes play calls boil down to philosophy. You know you're facing one of the top 10 units against the run in the NFL. So do you decide to keep smashing against them, or do you decide to throw the ball here?
And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. He'll pick up only a yard there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 7.
Well, I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end zone. But these short ones still have their value. You can still set up your play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't. And often the physicality.
It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Their dangerous wide receiver. His 2nd TD of the game and 18th of the year. And the Vikings are able to cut into that deficit. No going for 2. They'll kick the point after. And he takes off with it. It's a fake. And he is not going to get in here. So the decision to go for 2 does not pay off as they're unable to cut any further into their deficit. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. Des Bryant, the intended receiver. That'll bring up 2nd down.
Help me out, partner. Was that incomplete?
That was on a deep ball to Des.
And that's a surprise. The way he attacks the football in the air, it's always surprising to me when he doesn't complete a pass like that.
Flex round! Flex round! Ohio! Ohio! Come on!
That one looks like he'll throw here. He's going to try and go deep again. Incomplete. And we're down to 8 seconds now.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
Ohio! 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 Here we go!
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. He's going to let it go again. Oh, it's a touchdown if he holds on. Instead, it's 4th down.
On every offensive coordinator, every play caller sheet, they have about 5 or 6 plays per game that they call shot plays or big plays, and you don't get many opportunities to dial them up, and they just did, and they drop it with a great chance to make a big play. That's going to hurt.
They'll bring a receiver in motion right. He'll drop to throw, and it's incomplete. They're still throwing to the very end, but now this game is over. Charles, we saw a lot of points go up in this one. Certainly defensively, stuff that they can look at on film, don't you think?
No doubt about it, and they've got to go back and check where the errors are, how they're going to fix them, and continue to get better at what they do. But they also need a little adjustment with their confidence. To give up that many points, even if you win a game, that can hurt you.
So for our visitors, they're now a win away from a perfect regular season as they move to 15-0. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, this was basically just an exhibition game for them as they'd already clinched home field advantage. And they will try to get back in the swing of things next week on the road. So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. From Minneapolis, so long, everybody.